Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. We'll be starting at 3:03. We're just going to give attendees a few minutes to join. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll be starting in a few minutes. We're just giving attendees a few more minutes to join. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Navigating City Contracting Opportunities with Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. My name is Mildred, and it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. I will be providing assistance during the webinar, so if you experience any technical difficulties or if you have any questions, please email me at mildred@imwas.com, and I'll share that in the chat in just a moment. We have a dedicated CDAP account manager, Carla Tillis, who is standing by to answer any questions you may have along the way. But if you would like your question answered by the panelist or a panelist, please hold them until after the presentations. We will also be sharing the PowerPoint and a recording of this webinar with all attendees, so please keep an eye out for that. Today, you'll learn about the Contractor Development and Bonding Program, also known as CDAP, and the 4 core services they provide. For those who are unfamiliar with the program, CDAP was launched to help small, local, and diverse businesses increase their bonding capacity. CDAP has evolved to include business development as well, which has proved crucial for many contractors in the program. You'll hear about the program a little more from our expert, Carlos Ray, who's the Assistant Client and Community Relations Manager. And before we jump into the presentations from our speakers, I will be sharing a short clip from a Fox 11 News broadcast featuring 2 of our very own contractors. After a quick poll, you'll hear from LAWA, Public Works, LADWP, and POLA on certifications, how to do business with these public agencies, and upcoming construction opportunities. We are honored to have Councilmember Bob Blumenfield in person to inaugurate the event. So thank you very much for being here, Councilmember. And to introduce him, please welcome Carlos Ray.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Councilmember Bob Blumenfield represents the 3rd Council District in the city of Los Angeles, which spans the northwest portion of Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley, including communities of Canoga Park, Reseda, Tarzana, Winnetka, and Woodland Hills. Councilmember Blumenfield has been a staunch supporter of the city's contractor development and bonding program. His office works very closely with our program. He's focused on serving the San Fernando Valley day-to-day needs for city services, as well as facilitating the long-term job and economic growth that will help ensure the vitality of local neighborhoods and the city as a whole. Public safety, emergency preparedness, beautification, and traffic reduction are some of the key quality of life issues he fights for in his district. He is also committed to social justice, equality, and opportunity for all Angelenos. Councilmember Blumenfield is a graduate of Duke University and the UCLA Anderson School of Management Business Executive Program. He lives in Woodland Hills with his wife and their 2 children. I'm pleased to welcome our friend and our small business advocate, Councilmember Bob Blumenfield.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you for that warm introduction and for all that you do, and Mildred for doing the work here, and Jill on my staff who does my economic development for helping coordinate all this. So I just really wanted to be here to welcome you all. My name is, as mentioned, is Bob Blumenfield, and I represent the 3rd Council District, which is basically the West San Fernando Valley. And I am delighted to sponsor today's virtual outreach workshop, talking about the contractor development and bonding program and trying to make it a success for all of you who are here. This is a great program. It's administered by Meriwether and Williams Insurance Services, and I really want to thank them, all the folks at Meriwether, for putting this event together and administering this program. The Regional Contractor Development and Bonding Program, it's a mouthful, but it's designed to expand your capacity as contractors and to encourage you to participate in construction projects throughout the city of Los Angeles. It's an incredible opportunity to learn, take advantage of the resources available to you that are free. City of LA, through our Department of Public Works and all of our proprietary departments, that was, as mentioned, LAWA, which is the Los Angeles World Airports, the Department of Water and Power, the Port of LA, we're all in the midst of a major multi-billion-dollar construction boom. In my district alone, which is, as I mentioned, the west part of the West Valley, we have about $123 million in ongoing construction projects and another $68 million in upcoming opportunities. And that doesn't include all the stuff at the port and the airport and the really big projects that are out there. We've got a number of multi-million-dollar projects that get a lot of attention, but we have a lot of small projects as well where local contractors can get experience and can build your business and can serve your city. So as a current member and the former chair of the city's Public Works Committee, I've worked on and supported policies to break up a lot of our big construction programs into smaller contracts, more bite-sized, so that there'll be more opportunities for small contractors. We've been successful with that in terms of our sidewalk repair program. We're trying to expand that into a variety of other programs. And as a city, we've implemented what's known as the RAMP, or the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, which essentially creates a single place where contractors can learn about bid opportunities, not only for the city and all of the amazing opportunities there, but for and the city-related departments like DWP and the Port and Airport, but also other government agencies like Metro, LA County, as well as we let smaller cities in LA County use it. LA 28 is using it, and a variety of other great opportunities are there even beyond our city. So despite the enormous opportunities, I understand there's still barriers to maximizing participation for companies like yours. And that's why we're here today, to reduce those obstacles and to help explain and get you into the contractor development and bonding program that you're going to learn about. You're going to hopefully today learn about the fundamentals of bonding and understand why it's needed for public works projects. And my hope at the end of this, you're going to be able to maximize your potential, become a city contractor in many different ways for your own benefit, but we're also counting on you to make a critical role in this city's continued recovery from COVID and dealing with our backlog of deferred maintenance. We want to keep that work local. We want you to be able to do it, whether it's our sidewalks or decarbonization or solar or charging infrastructure for electric vehicles or so much more. So I could talk for a long time about how great this is going to be, but I want you to just jump right into it. So let me end there and just thank you again for your participation, for being here today, And I'm going to turn it back over to Merriweather and Williams and Carlos or Mildred, whoever's next. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember, so much for being here today. So as Councilmember said, let's jump right in. And our first presentation will be given by Carlos Ray, and this is the Contractor Development and Bonding Program and the 4 core services that they provide. Welcome, Carlos.
All right, thank you again, Mildred, and thank you again, Councilmember, for your support. And we couldn't perform this program without support from you. So thank you so much. So let's get into our presentation today. You can skip this one. All right, so a little bit about Merriweather and Williams Insurance Services. By trade, we are a property and casualty insurance brokerage firm. We have insurance practices. We do specialty programs. We're probably most known for here in the state of California, at least, for our bonding and technical assistance programs, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a few moments. We have offices in San Francisco, here in Los Angeles and Oakland. And like many of you, we are a small woman, minority-owned businesses, so we understand the barriers you may be facing when you're looking for contracting opportunities. So we're uniquely positioned to provide a program of this magnitude. Next slide. All right, so the purpose and mission of the Contractor Development and Bonding Program, or CDAP, as I may refer to it, and as you'll probably hear others refer to it as well. I'm going to read this because I think it's very important. It's to reduce the barriers of bonding / capacity, enabling greater and successful participation of small, local, minority, women, and disabled veteran-owned businesses in public contract opportunities. So basically, we help you identify barriers and remove them to the best of our abilities to give you greater access to opportunities. And we do that through what we call the 4 pillars of contractor development. And I'll go through them throughout our presentation, but they are assessment and technical assistance, bonding, contract financing, and project assistance, education, training, contract support, and our prime contractor partnership. So I'll explain what all those are throughout our presentation. All right, next slide. So let's start with what is some basics about bonding. What is bonding? Basically a 3-party agreement that guarantees a contract will get completed. As a contractor, it usually protects another party, not you as a contractor. You can't purchase it, you have to qualify for it. So unlike insurance, it expects no losses. So generally just the understanding is that it's there to make sure the contract gets completed based on the agreed upon contract and terms in that contract. Why is it necessary? It's actually mandated by law on all public works projects. Federally, you can cite the HURD Act and Miller Act. On a local and state level, you'll find the Little Miller Acts, and they vary by state, but generally all states require some type of bonding when working on public works projects. As I mentioned, it ensures the owner of that project, usually the public agency in this instance, receives the finished product at the negotiated price. And one thing I want to highlight too, it acts as a pre-qualification instrument for your ability. So as people see your bonding amount, your limits, and how they keep increasing, if they do so, they'll be able to understand the types of projects and the type of work you can handle. So it's not bad, but it does also help you pre-qualify and kind of give people a sense of the type of work you can perform. Next slide, please. All right, so we offer a lot of different services here at the Contractor Development and Bonding Program. I mentioned bonding, so we can help you obtain or increase your bonding capacity. We have contractor development, capacity building, and technical services that we offer. One of our newest programs that you'll hear about in just a few moments from my colleague, Janet Ramirez, you'll learn about our Contract Financing Assistance Program, or CFAP, which is a great new program I think you should all take advantage of if needed. So what happens is you get a dedicated account manager. This person is like someone who's going to help you with your business development and talk you through how to utilize the program to the best of your ability. What I always say is this isn't a cookie cutter program. So we don't just say, oh, okay, you're just going to do the same thing that everybody else does. We really start get an understanding of where your business is and where you want to go and help you build a plan to get there. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. So we offer agency collateral support through our bonds for qualified contractors. Sometimes you may be asked to produce some CPA prepared financial statements. And so we do have a one-time use accounting subsidy for $3,200. As you know, that those statements can sometimes get a little costly. And so while $3,200 may not cover everything, it is available to you to use as a member or as being enrolled in the program. And then one thing we do is we send out weekly bid opportunities. So we get opportunities from all the different agencies, and so we send them out via bid alerts to those particular contractors that meet that scope of work or have those particular codes in that project. We also have what we call a LA Contractor Weekly, which is a weekly email that we send out every Wednesday afternoon that has the latest information in workshops, project opportunities, events, resources that may be in the area or that you may want to utilize to help grow your business and further the work you're trying to do. So that's something that you automatically get enrolled in once you enroll in the program. Next slide. So as I mentioned, once you enroll in the program, we get your enrollment form, you'll get assigned a contractor development manager, or a CDM, as we like to call them. And so what that first meeting will do, they'll contact you and set up an assessment meeting. And so they'll just talk to you about your business, where you want to go, the things you're already doing, what you have in place. So they can get a kind of full scope of where you are with your business. And then from that meeting, what they'll do is develop a work plan. That work plan will be outlined and customized just for you based on that conversation to say, okay, hey, you said you wanted to work with public works and you wanted to get these types of projects. Okay, here's the types of things that you'll need to do based on where you are right now. So for example, if you need certifications, they'll recommend certifications and kind of help you walk through that process. If you need bonding, they'll do the same for bonding. If you need some other types of materials or CPA prepared financial statements, we have recommendations there. So really just understanding where you are in that work plan will help guide you to your goals. One of the great things we do is contractor profiles. So those profiles are like one page marketing sheets, front and back, that usually have like your contact information, have some great information about your business, all your NICS codes. Maybe sometimes you'll include your bonding limit. You have a statement of qualifications on there. You have some highlighted projects that you would like to highlight, and then maybe some pictures of some recent projects that you've completed. And this just serves as some marketing collateral that you can take with you to different events, or even have just send to people via email when you're doing your outreach and reaching out and people are asking for information about your business. You can utilize that contractor profile that will work with you to create. I mentioned certifications, how we can help you with that. What we do also is a bid document review. So when you get ready to submit your bid, we can actually review it with you and just kind of talk through some things with you. One thing we can't do is give you advice or anything on your pricing, just because we're not able to do that. But we can walk you through and just have you considered general conditions? Have you looked at everything and making sure that you're doing the best, putting your best foot forward? We also have monthly workshops and coaching. We just had a workshop actually 2 days ago on the value of marketing. We've done bonding this year. We've also done a workshop on QuickBooks. I think we have a bidding and estimating coming up next month that we'll be announcing soon. And then we just completed our City of LA Bidding and Estimating Training Academy, which was great. It's a 5-week program that kind of does a deep dive into bidding and estimating with the City of LA. So what does that take? How do you do all these different tasks that you would need to do to bid on a project? And the cool thing about it is you actually get put into a group to do a mock bid project, and you actually kind of walk through the project through the different weeks of the class and submit that, and it's a great learning tool. Then the follow-up to that is contract award and management. Then our prime partnership program, which we do is we partner with some of the bigger GCs in the area to they come and teach some of those classes at our training academy, as well as give us project opportunities that they have for subs that they're looking for. So we kind of create some opportunities to network there as well. Next slide. All right, so I will introduce my colleague, Janet Ramirez, who will come on and talk to you guys about the contract financing assistance program.
Thank you, Carlos. Again, my name is Janet Ramirez. I'm the contract-based financing analyst for our CFAP program. So brief overview on the program. This is a program geared for small and diverse contractors to kind of really help you guys get these jobs that we all want. So what this program does is a short-term loan. And within that loan, you are able to kind of fund the beginnings of the project and provide that cash flow throughout the entire duration of your project. So the funds could be used for labor, material and equipment rental pertaining specifically to the project. So some of the areas where I'll touch on is you must be enrolled in our contract development and bonding program. You must be a SBE to kind of participate in this resource. We do encourage you guys to be pre-qualified. And by pre-qualification, what that means is we'll provide you a checklist, and there's going to be items as far as background organization and financial information and project information. But if you don't have a project yet, we still encourage you to submit all of this information so we can help you kind of incorporate the cost of a loan into your bid. So you guys don't kind of feel that coming out of your pocket. So we can help in that aspect. And then once you guys do have that project, all we would do is basically ask for that project information to kind of get the ball rolling and making sure that we're able to fund the loan when your project starts. Another item here is it must be a construction contract. We are considering professional services still related within construction. The funds that are approved are specifically allocated for that project only. We do use that contract as collateral. So what we don't do is we don't underwrite based off your financial strength, but we will use that contract as your collateral to kind of move forward and pitch this to the lender. Currently, the max amount of the loan fund that would be $250,000 per project. We are able to bundle up a few, up to 2 to 3 projects at a time within this loan limit. And then the money is not released to you all up front. So what we'll do is we'll create a cash flow projection that would kind of really determine how much money you really need to borrow. Because if you don't need to borrow the $250, we'll just kind of allocate the correct amount for that project. So we would really incorporate all of your job cost breakdown, incorporate the loan cost, so everything would be transparent as far as how much the loan will cost and what's the profit going to be after the loan is repaid. So within this program, we do require the third-party funds administration. So they would go ahead and really manage all of your money. You won't necessarily touch the money, but everything would be under your name. So the way the loan funds would kind of work would be you would submit a draw request to this funds administrator. All your bills would be paid first, so we can pay for labor, material, equipment. And then depending on the structure of the loan that we create for you, it could be interest payments only, or we can do a balloon at the end, which would mean we'll pay the loan all up front once you're done with the project. And then once the lender is paid back, you'll go ahead and receive your profit and overhead. Again, depending on the structure that we do, we can go ahead and release your overhead on a monthly base, depending on the length of your project. So the interest fee currently right now, it is competitive if you want to kind of compare it to a credit card, because if you're using a credit card, you know, it's 25 to 30% interest rate. You could only really fund your materials or your equipment. You can't really pay for your labor and your fringe benefits. You would have to do a cash advance for that, and we know that interest rate is a lot higher than that 25 to 30%. So currently right now, our lender that we work with is PACE, and we also work with another lender, CDFI, which is PCR, Pacific Coast Regional Institution. And their current rate is 9.5 interest rate plus a 1% origination fee. But like I mentioned, all of these fees can be incorporated into your bid. So that's why we really kind of want you to pre-qualify so we can teach you how to do the, you know, mark up your job so we have the correct margin. So there's still a profit at the end of your job. So once the loan is paid off, you know, this will increase your credit score. This would look great. Our goal ultimately is to really graduate you from this program to make you commercially bankable so you guys can get a larger amount of a revolving line of credit with a bigger institution. And then we'll also teach you the cash flow your project to make sure that are you really able to afford it? Are you bidding your jobs properly? Or are you just, bidding to kind of bid and make sure that we're getting a profit, even though that the loan is in place. And then again, like I mentioned, our goal is to really get you to that traditional lender, so you guys can start bidding on larger projects. And that would be it for me.
All right, thank you, Janet. So on to a bid document review. So what happens, what we'll do at the start of a project, what we normally do is we attend pre-bids. So usually we have a representative from most of our pre-bids talking about our program, giving you some of the same information we've been discussing today. So like I mentioned, we'll do a contract review. So we'll review the plans and specs. We'll help you identify risks and required bid documents. And then we'll do a final bid document review. As I mentioned, we can't advise you on numbers, but we can help you review those different things I listed. And then we'll do a post-bid debrief. So if you were awarded, great job. We'll look at what happened, what you did well. If you weren't awarded, we'll talk about that too and see, where we may have gone wrong and, things you might be able to do to perform better on the next bid or get awarded the next project. All right, next slide. And then the project completion support. So once you're awarded a project, what we can offer you is some project assistance. So we'll have a kickoff meeting and talk about the job start checklist, understand the things that need to happen that you're responsible for on that job. Usually it will be someone from the person you're contracted with, whether you're as a sub or as a prime. It'll be us and you as the contractor to understand and make sure everybody understands what you're responsible for. We'll do status reports, so contract and principal status reports. We'll have monthly check-ins. We'll help you with billing and payments just to making sure everything is flowing. We'll help you understand the construction schedule as well. We also do site visits, so if there's some things that may be happening on the site that you may have questions about or not know how to handle, we have industry professionals that can help you there, and also with change order logs and review, just to make sure all those are getting done and completed and there's nothing hanging up so you can complete the project successfully and on time. Next slide. And that's it. That's everything for the contractor development and bonding program. Before we get to questions, I usually always get this. And somebody usually says, well, how much does it cost? You ask great questions on a Thursday afternoon. There is no cost to enroll in the program and take advantage of these services. So if you're interested or want to learn more, you see our contact information there. You can give us a call or shoot us an email, and we can send you more information or get you set up with someone to answer some questions. But thank you all for your time today. Hope to see you enrolled in the program and enjoy the rest of the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos and Janet. So there was a lot of information just covered, and there will be a lot more coming up. But we will be sharing the presentations and a recording of the webinar for all attendees. So again, keep an eye out for that. And as Carlos just explained, the program is here to support your business growth and development. CDAP wants to see you successfully bid for public contracts and provides a variety of tools and services to make that happen. We strive not simply to offer assistance, but to demonstrate that we are capable of making a difference. So this following clip is a broadcast from Fox 11 News with host Hal Eisner and contractors PG Cutting and Fixed Dimensions. They were interviewed by Mr. Eisner and on their success and the program. So let's take a look.
Joining us right now to talk about small businesses are three people that I think will be able to give us a pretty good idea of what we're talking about. Juan Garcia, you're with a company called PG Cutting Services, and I want to know a lot about what that is actually. And then Adam and Bethany White have a company called Fixed Dimensions. And so your service is cutting concrete? Is that what that is?
We cut concrete, we core holes through concrete for new construction or rehab projects.
And Bethany?
We are a woman-owned business. We supply cabinets and cabinet installation.
And so your husband works for you.
That's correct.
I got it. Okay, great. And well, what's your feeling about the subject of fairness in businesses?
I think it's great that there's more focus on small businesses getting big contracts. It really does help us.
So let's talk about this a little bit. One, we talk about this equity and this pledge and this need for infrastructure fairness, and the big guys get all the big bucks. And what's your experience with that? And do you think this pledge that we've talked about can make a difference?
I really do think that it can make a difference. It's made somewhat of a difference already for us through the certification programs and the city and county mentorship programs. It has helped already, and without it, it would be a challenge.
And you own this business.
Yes.
And so it's a minority-owned business.
Yes.
And when we talk about minority-owned businesses, there's a lot of complications. It's a bigger kind of a slog.
Well, you have to have all your, there's small businesses, and everybody starts off in a garage, one truck, one piece of equipment to say, but you have to scale up. You have to have all your ducks in a row with insurance and licensing and all that stuff. But then you hit a block wall sometimes with financing or with bonding, or even just the opportunity to be able to bid on these bigger projects.
And that bonding term again has to do with the insurance and being able to protect the project. And so Bethany, I guess, have you had trouble and challenges getting contracts?
So I would say the biggest challenge is being able to have the cash flow and the capital to perform the work. So we have the skills, but in order to float the job for 30, 60, 90 days, that's where the contract-based financing has really propelled our business.
And Fixed Dimensions does what?
We install cabinets.
Do you find that when you're trying to bid for a job to install cabinets that you're beat out by bigger companies that are not minority-based?
It can happen.
And why?
They are able to typically have smaller margins because they're a larger company. So as a small business, we have to maintain our margins and, like you said before, all of the extra expenses that are needed to perform that size of job.
But whenever there's a challenge, you fall off a mountain, you climb back up the mountain again. So how'd you get that leg up? How did you manage to overcome some of these challenges?
One of the things that helped me was to start attending some of these programs and really start focusing on my own business development. Another big challenge that we were running into was bidding on public works projects and not being union. So we decided 7 years ago to join the union, and that made it just a lot easier to get on these prevailing wage projects per se.
We've talked about the equity and infrastructure pledge. We've talked now a little bit about the local end of this, and an LA Regional Contractor Development and Bonding Program is something I want to touch on here. What is that?
So for us, they partnered with us to take a look at our financials and see what type of loan they could, at a low interest, they could provide us so that we could perform the work.
And so this program, LA Regional Contractor Development and Bonding, is it also something that not only just provides that, but provides all kinds of resources, perhaps a training on how to do certain things? Give me an idea of what that does.
They offer estimating classes. They offer, they help you create a capability statement. They assess your capability right now to see what you're bondable for and help you scale up that capacity. And they're there to help you continue to increase your bonding capabilities.
What would that be like if you didn't have that sort of a program, Bethany? And I guess we ought to give your husband a shot here, right?
No, she's doing great.
We're turning you into a minority here.
She's doing perfect.
What would you want to respond to that?
What was the question?
I don't remember. No, I mean, the point being that you've got these programs, they help you out, and the challenges that you've run into are things like?
Let's start with the bonding. To get any one of these contracts, you have to be able to be insured for it, and the bonding was crucial. Nobody's going to hire you on just your word alone.
How long have you been involved in this program?
About 2 years.
About 2 years, same for you?
About 6 years.
About 6 years. How effective has it been for you?
Very effective.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's made a difference.
Absolutely.
Would you give us a word or two on what the difference is?
You just feel this sense of support when you're bidding something. In fact, right now I'm bidding a big project in a week or two with LA Metro, and I need more bonding for this particular project. So we already have the wheels in motion. Without that, I would be a little lost or feel unsupported, perhaps.
You know, we're out of time, but just very briefly, what's the bottom line? Bottom line with regard to trying to be a small business, and trying to work in the environment.
It's hard. If there wasn't these set-asides, these requirements where a percentage of the contract has to go to minorities and women-owned businesses and underserved communities, it would probably not be happening the way it is now. These percentages or these set-asides are more mandatory, so it gives us a real true opportunity.
And with all due respect, I'm going to give your boss the last word.
Absolutely. I prefer it.
Okay.
I think this program allows us to grow as business owners and allows our business to grow.
All right, Bethany and Adam, thanks for joining us, and Juan, all the best to all of you, and thanks for sharing your information. And coming up next on Fox 11 News, joining us right now.
Awesome. So that was PG Cutting and Fixed Dimensions. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors and much more success, of course. So before we jump into the rest of the presentations, I'd like to take a poll, and let me go ahead and pull that up. Oh. Okay. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and give the attendees a few seconds or 30 seconds to respond. Wonderful. Thank you to everyone who participated. Now, you've heard about the services and the support available to you through CDAP. And now we want to make you aware of the upcoming opportunities in the city's proprietary departments. To begin, we have Sophia Cavalli. She's the Economic Inclusion Advisor, and she is here to speak on current and future projects happening at LAWA. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you so much, Mildred. We really appreciate the opportunity to be part of today. And before I even get started, a big thank you to Meriwether and Williams for putting this together, as well as Councilmember Blumenfield for his support. So with that, we can go ahead and kick things off. Again, we're excited to be here today. LAWA has been for an extended period of time now, on this journey of transformation, of $30 billion transformation, in fact. And I'm sure that some of you have been seeing this happening at the airport as you've made it your way to LAX to take a flight or pick up others. You're seeing all of the construction happening. So what is not lost on LAWA, what has been really top of mind, is that we have this opportunity with this $30 billion transformation to leverage this as a catalyst for economic development for the residents of Los Angeles and for the businesses of Los Angeles. So let's talk about that. So next slide, please, Mildred. So what you see before you here is really quite a few projects. So they fall into a number of buckets under Terminal Development Program, our Airport Development Program, our LAX Wayfinding Program. We have Landside Access Modernization, and we also have Airfield Terminal Modernization, as well as a landscape program. So Mildred, you can go on to the next slide, please. So what you see here in front of you is really all of the projects that are going to be completed between now and 2028 in time for the Olympics. So as you can see, this list under terminals under the LAMP project, again, I mentioned projects in construction you're seeing. I know that if you've been to the airport, you're seeing what's happening with the automotive people mover. We have the airside taxiway runways. So when you look at this list, this is quite a bit of construction, which is wonderful news for all of you. So we are very committed to providing access and making sure that everyone that wants to participate on the projects has access to that. We just heard the word equity as part of that Fox interview with all the small businesses. Again, that's really important to LAWA. Next slide, please. So when we look at the $30 billion capital improvement program to the left here, this is what has already been awarded and what is in various degrees of completion. To the right is what's forward facing. So there's just about $15 billion forward facing. And when you look, you can see to the right, you can see that roads is comprised of a very large percentage, 14.8. We have the Terminal 9 and then Concourse 0. So some very large projects with some very large opportunities. Next slide, please. So to that end, as LAWA has been undergoing transformation externally, we've also been taking that internal. So we're looking at what can we do internally to make sure that we have access and that we can remove internal barriers to small, diverse businesses, local businesses, being able to participate on our projects. So first and foremost, that first bullet, outreach and transparency. So for all of the projects that we have coming up, and we've, even this last year, we've had a number of events, we make sure that even before documents are going out to the industry, so before it becomes an official process, that we are communicating, we are out and about as much as possible, providing information about our upcoming projects, and then providing a venue where people can come together to learn more about the projects before they go out formally, and also network. So we've had our prime contractors connecting with smaller contractors, local, diverse, small contractors. And we're giving them the opportunity so that everybody has as much ample notice in advance so that, again, the larger contractors can start having conversations with smaller contractors and vice versa. So it's not last minute. So as we are having our intent and expectations around extensive inclusivity embedded throughout a project, that's happening very, very early on. So we're doing that. We are engaging with the industry itself around our handbook, for example. Like what can we do to streamline that process? How can we make it better? How can we make it easier? How can LAWA continue to be the owner of choice? We just launched very recently a prompt payment app. So we are looking at internally, how long does it take for us to process payment once invoices come in? We're tracking that again. What can LAWA do to remove barriers for small businesses so that cash flow can get out to everyone as soon as possible? We know how important that is. We're also looking at insurance requirements. Do we need to have full requirements before someone gets a task order? No, we've made those types of adjustments. We have now a contractor assessment tool. So while a project is underway, we're assessing a contractor in the areas of quality, safety, and inclusivity. So we're tracking that and giving them an opportunity real time on a project to make adjustments along the way and get feedback. This assessment tool now also is going to serve as a tool for the future. So as input is given, as adjustments are made or not made, that becomes part of the final assessment, which then provides feedback on a future opportunity. So again, we're doing everything we can to streamline things and make sure that everyone is ensuring that we have the projects that we want happening at the level and quality that we want. And also, again, as I mentioned, inclusivity is part of that. We also have opportunities now for micro business inclusion. We're looking at inclusivity in the broadest sense, whether it's a mentor protege program or whether it's the next generation of leaders or next generation of entrepreneurs through internship programs or other educational opportunities. And next slide, please. So as we mentioned, we're looking at not only what we're building, but how we're building it. So we just touched bases on some of the small business components. So this now is also for the workers. So who is building our projects? LAWA has a project labor agreement, and we've had a tremendous impact in the projects that we've been building. So when you look here, 30% participation, more than 24,000 local workers. That's a tremendous impact. And then also the number of hours that worked by local workers. You can see that right there to the right as well. Lots and lots of impact for local residents and local workers. Next slide, please. Okay. So as I mentioned, as we're going out to the marketplace in advance of various opportunities, we are communicating far and wide what it is that LAWA wants to see as we're building our projects. How can we make a long-lasting impact in the community and leave a legacy? So we're building a project, but how can we transform the community? How can we make a lasting impact so that when that project's done, the residents of Los Angeles have benefited across multiple areas. So of course, looking at our small business participation, LAWA has requirements specifically for SPE firms, LSPE, LBE, and DBBE. However, we also track our DBE participation, so disadvantaged business enterprises. We're looking at minority businesses, women businesses, and LGBTQ participation. So while we don't have specific requirements, we are tracking that. We are looking at the participation. We're also looking specifically at the staffing levels and how a project is organized to have maximum success as it relates to inclusivity and workforce development. So that's one of the things that you're going to see in future procurements coming up, future projects. So whether you're a small business or on a larger side, wherever you are, you're going to be seeing this and you have an opportunity to participate, specifically mentor-protege programs. So that's something that you're going to see in our projects coming up, and we've had, looking backwards, it's been included as well. So we're looking for very specific measurable outcomes. So there's opportunities for you as a small business to be a mentee and be mentored by one of the larger firms. Again, we're asking the large firms, what specifically are they going to do to address cash flow and pay everyone promptly? So that's, again, something that we're asking them to look at. They're going to be evaluated on that. And then in the area here of transformational program initiatives for impact area residents. So there's workforce development, there's internship opportunities, there's scholarships. We're asking our industry partners to go beyond what they've done before. And each of you can have an opportunity in that area as well, in terms of your relationships or how you might be able to position yourself as a differentiator to help one of the larger contractors fulfill some of these areas. Community investment. There are so many Title I schools around the airport, a number of school districts. So we're asking industry partners to be thinking outside of the box and what can they bring to make it a longstanding investment into the youth and into future workers, future entrepreneurs, and the community at large. So lastly, here, the local craft worker requirement. Again, local worker participation at all tiers. So whether it's first tier, second tier, that's a requirement. And then we're also looking to have participation and have hiring specifically from LAWA's Hire LAX program, which is a pre-apprenticeship readiness program. And so there's lots of opportunities there as well for local workers from the community that have not traditionally had access to careers in construction to be able to enter a trade, to be able to start working on a project and ultimately have a very high living wage job and career. Next slide, please. So as we move on here to specific contracting opportunities. So this slide here, I want to invite you to really take a moment and look at this and see if there's anything that's interesting to you. So we have a number of projects that have not yet gone out to the marketplace formally, or some are in a stage, this first category here in terms of being awarded or not. For those who've been awarded, on the contractor column, you can see Skanska, W.E. O'Neill, Swinnerton, Hensel Phelps, et cetera, already have contracts at the airport, and there are subcontracting opportunities. So I would invite you to reach out to me if you don't already have a contact at any of those companies, and I will make an introduction for you. Also, I really want to highlight here that there are a tremendous amount of opportunities for disadvantaged business enterprises. And right now, the marketplace does not have enough DBE firms for the goals that are set on projects. So if you are not yet certified as a DBE firm too, I would strongly encourage you, please reach out to me, follow up. I will put you in contact with a resource that can help you go through the entire process. It's also free. So there's a number of ways to get involved. The next slide, we'll move on to that. Next slide here. I also want to highlight here that as you're looking to access opportunities, so Ramp LA will provide you access and information about all City of Los Angeles opportunities. To the right is a QR code to join our network. So if you sign up with our network, you will be able to find out about some of those outreach events that I was talking about. We also have other industry events talking about. You'll automatically get notification. You're going to be in our economic impact database, our capital improvement database. So I strongly encourage you to get registered and get into our database, and you'll get those push outs. The next slide also has some QR codes and has information about specifically LAWA's bonfire portal. So we are currently in a transitional stage where we still have some of our projects on Ramp LA, but we are in the process of migrating entirely to Bonfire. So again, I would invite you to register on both the Bonfire portal and also Ramp LA. So you have access to everything. And then below that here, we have an 18-month look ahead. So this also can give you information so that you can stay apprised of what's coming up, what's in the pipeline, what is being planned for the future. And then next slide, please. And so then I'm just going to leave you with a parting message here again, that the development group, the economic impact team is absolutely committed to maximizing opportunities for inclusivity and workforce development across our projects in as many areas as we possibly can. So whether it's including small businesses, whether it's growing the capacity of those small businesses, whether it's putting together strategic partnerships for businesses and the community. We also have, again, the Higher LAX Apprenticeship Readiness Program, bringing in individuals that traditionally have not been and not had access to construction industry jobs, ensuring that local workers have opportunities, and again, internships and other youth initiatives to really raise awareness about construction career opportunities. So next slide, please. So with that, I will wrap things up here. And again, just say again, I'm here to help. So please reach out. I can put you in contact with some large general contractors and specific individuals that can help you find information about upcoming opportunities. I can also help you have assistance with getting DBE certified and any other questions that you have about doing business at LAWA. So we hope that you will continue to take advantage of all these tremendous opportunities today, this afternoon, with all these resources. So thank you for your time, and we wish you all the very best and every success.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia, for that wonderful presentation. So like Sophia mentioned, she's there if if someone needs an introduction or help with certifications. You can reach out to her at her cell phone and her email, which will be provided in a thank you email from the program to all the attendees. If you need help with bonding, technical assistance, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you out with that as well. So next we have Jason Kim. He is a management analyst at the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. And he's here to give us a step-by-step guide on how to do business with the largest municipal water and power utility in the nation. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Mildred. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Kim from the Supplier Diversity Office here at LADWP, and as Mildred mentioned, I'm going to be talking briefly about how to do business with LADWP. Just a quick overview of our department. As Mildred mentioned, we are the largest municipal water power utility in the nation. We serve around 4 million residents and businesses in Los Angeles. And last year, we awarded $1.5 billion in contracts for goods and services. Next slide, please. I'm just going to go over maybe just something, if you're not familiar with our procurement process, just some things that you may want to know if you are doing business with us. First of all, we have two competitive solicitation methods, an IFB or RFPs. IFBs, invitation for bids, are typically used for construction projects, materials, equipment rentals, and non-professional services. No exceptions are allowed for IFBs, meaning that the bids must conform to all terms, conditions, and specs of the IFB. And IFBs are awarded the lowest priced, responsive, and responsible bidder. RFPs are typically used for professional, expert, technical, and other complex services, including design, build, construction, things of that nature. RFPs have a predetermined evaluation criteria such as technical, management, or past experience, as well as cost factor. For RFPs, unlike IFBs, exceptions may be allowed and negotiations may take place. And unlike IFBs, which are awarded to the lowest price responsive bidder, RFPs are awarded to the highest scoring proposer based on stated selection and evaluation criteria. So if you're looking for opportunities, you'll see IFBs and RFPs, and now you know the difference. Next slide, please. How to participate as mentioned before in the previous presentation, Ramp LA is the central portal as into which you can find business or procurement opportunities. For the city of Los Angeles, I highly encourage you to register, visit. Upon registering, you can view open contracting opportunities. You can download documents associated with posted opportunities. You can look at past opportunities in order to gauge if you're in the competitive range. You can also check out what things we purchase, what services we purchase, and when contracts are going to be posted. So it's super helpful to, if you haven't already, I highly suggest that you register and make a profile and get on that. And also, I forgot to include it in the slide, but LADWP also has our own portal, ersp.ladwp.com, which is just the LADWP marketplace that we utilize. So if you could also, or if you're interested in LADWP contracts, I highly suggest you make a profile there as well. And yeah, that'll make your process easier and faster. Next slide, please. Finding opportunities. This is Supply Line. This is an 18-month look-ahead newsletter that we publish quarterly. The new one is supposed to come out very shortly. So I would wait a couple of days because that probably has the newest and most current opportunities that are slated to come out in the next 18 months. I highly suggest you check this out, supplyline.ladwp.com. Again, this is an 18-month look ahead. It includes contracts that are projected to release in the next year or so. It'll give you the description of the contract, what kind of work may be involved, the contract amount, and other helpful information. So if you're looking for some opportunities, I highly suggest you check out Supply Line. I do believe there is an exciting project coming out for us as well. I think we're doing a renovation of the John Ferraro building in downtown Los Angeles, our main LADWP building. And I believe there's a good amount of opportunities that may be available to you if you are maybe construction or office renovation related business. So look out for that as well. Again, this is Supply Line. Check it out. Next slide, please. And lastly, I want to talk about the SBDVB participation program. This is a specific program that applies to almost all contracts over $150,000 of services, construction, and rentals with operators. The reason I want to mention this is this is a specific program that sets aside opportunities and really money for smaller businesses with who may not be as large and able to take on large projects that you can. This is a chance for you to participate, and this program helps facilitate that for you guys. So the percentage, the contract specific mandatory SB or DVB participation requirement is set as a percentage of that contract. So primes who are awarded contracts are required to set aside a percentage just for subcontracting specifically to SB or DVB certified firms. And we hold them to that because bidders who are not do not meet the minimum mandatory SB requirement are deemed non-responsive at the time of bid. So we take that very seriously, and our annual goals are 25% and 3%. 25% for SB and 3% for DVBE, meaning we assign anywhere from, these days, 10 to 25% of that contract is set aside for subcontracting opportunities. So if you aren't a prime and you don't think that you'll be able to participate in huge contracts, I suggest after you sign up for RAMP, you can also, I forgot to mention, check out when the pre-bid meetings for certain projects will be. I suggest that you attend those, get your name out there, I believe they even send out a list of the primes that attended, and you can, go and network and email them and contact them, and you can also look for opportunities in that kind of way. So yeah, I think that's it for that. Next slide, please. Lastly, just some useful links and contact information. Well, the useful links I already talked about, but if you have any questions related to LADWP contracting opportunities or the SBDVB program, you can shoot us an email at supply-relations-office@ladwp.com, or call us at the number there, or you can also contact the LADWP VLC Center or email them at perchbids@ladwp.com. Again, I suggest you register on rampla.org and ersp.ladwp.com. If you have any licenses or certifications that you have, get those ready. If you're not certified, I believe the City of LA, the BCA, Bureau of Contract Administration, issues SBE certifications. So go if you think you might qualify, and I'm sure maybe somebody will explain a little bit. I suggest you get those certifications as well. And also, lastly, I believe you're any person who wants to engage in business with the City of LA is required to obtain a business tax registration certificate, or BTRC. So I suggest you check out finance.lacity.org. If you don't have a BTRC associated with your business yet, I believe that's also required to do business with us. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm going to hand it back over to you, Mildred.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. So we've heard about the importance of certifications, and we've heard about all of these really cool upcoming construction opportunities. So you may have questions about these. So we invited Delina No. She is a management analyst with the Bureau of Contract Administration to kind of expound a little on certifications and how to apply. Without further ado, please welcome Delina to speak on certifications.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Delana Ngo, and I am a management analyst with the Centralized Certifications Administration at the Department of Public Works, Bureau of Contract Administration. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the city's different certification programs and the benefits that it can offer your business. So you may be asking yourself, why should my business get certified? Well, the various certification programs offered can help legitimize your business, whether you're a woman-owned business, minority-owned, or local or small business. These certifications can also provide your business with increased visibility and marketing exposure through the city's online databases and through the online regional alliance marketplace for procurement, or RAMP, as you've been hearing through the presentations. Your certification will actually be displayed on the firm's RAMP profile, and this will be visible to all the vendors, contractors, and city partners that are on there. And of course, certification can also give your firm a competitive edge and advantage over non-certified firms. So that's why it's really important to have your business certified. And next slide, please. Thank you. So what are the different certifications that your business can get with the City of Los Angeles? First, we have our ownership-based certification programs, which are only open to for-profit businesses. For the minority business enterprise and the women business enterprise certifications, a firm must demonstrate that it is at least 51% legitimately owned and controlled by one or more minority or women owners. The firm must be able to demonstrate that the minority or women owners are not just there as a facade, but that they actually have ownership and control in the company. So what does it mean to have control? It means that the business owner must have expertise in the company's core business and that they must be the one who possesses the license and credentials that may be required to conduct that firm's business. Moving on, the DBE, or the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification, is a federally based and recognized certification program that recognizes businesses that are at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. This certification is subject to a review of the business's income, and there are size standards in place for the business owner's personal net worth. As you can see on the box on the right-hand side, there's a list of the presumed disadvantaged groups that may be eligible for the DBE certification. Next, we have the ACDBE, can you actually go back? Thank you. The ACDBE, or the Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification, is similar to the DBE certification. However, it is only given to firms that provide services and products that benefit the traveling public. And lastly, we have our Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Certification for the Los Angeles Worldwide Airports. This certification is for businesses that are at least 51% owned and controlled by a certified disabled veteran. Next slide, please. Okay. So moving right along, we have our location-based certifications. The city ordinance number 187121 was put into effect. It put into the effect the local business preference program, which gives preference percentages to local businesses that are competing in city contracting opportunities. So this program currently includes 3 different certification programs. The first is the LBE certification, or the local business enterprise. For businesses that are physically located and headquartered in LA County. Please also note that there is a new ordinance that has recently been released to further certify and distinguish businesses that are located within LA County versus those that are located within LA City. However, the details for this are still currently being ironed out because it's fairly new. So more information about this will be available soon on our website. The second certification under the LBPP program is the LSB, or the Local Small Business Certification. And to qualify for this certification, the firm must be certified as an LBE first. And in addition, the firm's gross income for the previous year must not exceed $5 million. And finally, under this program, we have our LTE, or our Local Transitional Employer Certification. This certification is open to both for-profit and nonprofit businesses. And to qualify, firms must operate a transitional job opportunities program. The most recent version of the LBPP application form is available from a firm's account on rampla.org. And next slide, please. So moving on, we have our recognition-based programs. So these are certifications that we will recognize for your business from reciprocal certifications from other agencies. The Small Business Enterprise for Proprietary Departments. This is a certification that is used by DWP, LAWA, and POLA. This is available to applicants that are headquartered out of Los Angeles County or out of state, in addition to those within the city. The Small Business Enterprise for Los Angeles certification can be received for your firm if you are certified as a small business by either the California Department of General Services as a small business, or if you are certified as a local small business by the city. The Emerging Business Enterprise certification can be received if your firm is certified as a micro small business by the California Department of General Services, or if you are certified as a local small business by the city. And the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, or DVBE certification, can be received if your firm is certified as a DVBE by the California Department of General Services. And finally, we also recognize the LGBTE certification if your firm is certified by the National LGBTE Chamber of Commerce. And next slide, please. So now that you know about the different certification programs that the city offers, where can you apply? For now, our MBE, WBE, and SBE proprietary applications are only being accepted on paper. And these must be mailed in or submitted to the BCA office, as they do require notarization at this time. For the DBE and ACDBE certifications, your firm can apply at californiaucp.dbesystem.com. For the LBE, LSB, LTE, DVBE, LAWA, and the LB Harbor, you can apply for these certifications through RAMP. And as we've been mentioning earlier, RAMP is the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. So if your firm does not already have an account on RAMP, it's highly recommended that you sign up so that your certifications can actually be displayed on your profile and that your firm can have access to, upcoming procurement opportunities. And so all this information will also be available on our website if you don't have time to kind of look at everything. Next slide, please. Yeah. And here is the link to our website if you want to learn more about any of the certifications we discussed today. And if you have any questions in regards to certification with the city, please feel free to send us an email at bca.certifications@lacity.org. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mildred. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Delina. As she mentioned, please reach out to her if you have any questions about certifications. If you need any help with applying, we do have dedicated account managers here at the Contractor Development and Bonding Program that can help you, walk you through that process. Here, finally, we have Angela Ragusa. She is civil engineer and from the Port of Los Angeles. She'll be giving us a quick overview of the projects coming up in her department. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Angela. Welcome, Angela.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'll try to make it quick as we are over our time. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. A lot of repeat information in terms of ramp and SBE and all of that. I have some links at the end of my presentation to go over those links. We actually do require that bidders and primes be registered on ramp at the time of bid opening, and that all subs and suppliers are registered with ramp 30 days after bid opening for the winning bid. Next slide. Okay, so these are our upcoming projects in the next few months, all the way through July, that will be advertised, and their varying construction costs. The first one, next slide, is the North Gaffey Street Beautification Phase 2. Is approximately $4.1 million. Advertised should be April 2024. Project includes construction of landscape and hardscape, trees, turf, shrubs, irrigation, fence, benches, picnic tables, and other site furnishings, and a multi-use concrete path. There is some demolition and removal of asphalt concrete, some signage, light poles, security cameras. Next slide. We also have our 2024-2026 marine improvements contract. It may be updated to 2025. We'll see. But the construction cost estimate right now is $21.6 million. Advertising hopefully in April. Consists of marine construction performed on an on-call basis, including wharf demolition and removal work, concrete and timber pile removals, furnishing and driving of concrete, timber and sheet steel piles, concrete and timber wharf repair, furnishing and installing rubber marine fenders, dredging, riprap and quarry run work, shotcrete application, timber pile wraps, and other wharf slope repair. It also includes some earthwork, asbestos and lead assessment and abatement as well. Again, this is an on-call contract, and these are just some potential subcontracting opportunities that we foresee. Next slide. We'll also be advertising our HAB, or Harbor Administration Building Board Hearing Room and Executive Session Room Remodel. The construction cost estimate is $3.5 million, advertising in April. Consists of replacing audio and visual equipment in our board hearing room, creating a secure space for new audio-visual control boards, modifying the stage area with new furniture and space needs, providing our conference room and council type furniture for required space needs, and replacing and adding lighting. Also includes providing ADA compliant seating, ramp access to our stage, and remodeling existing executive session restroom and kitchenette to meet ADA requirements and be code compliant. The next project is probably the biggest project. It's the Avalon Pedestrian Bridge and Promenade Gateway. Construction cost estimate is $54 million. Advertised date is supposed to be May 2024. There is some grant funding requirements on this project. With some, the construction consists of concrete cable supported pedestrian bridge and promenade gateway, development of 12 acres of visitor serving open space with amenities. Some subcontracting opportunities include demolition, earthwork, fencing, electrical, landscaping, and striping and pavement. We do have quite a bit of hardscape, construction of a restroom building, retaining wall, and concrete pile foundations as well. And this is in our Wilmington district. Next slide. Okay, the next one is the Berth 238-239 Marine Oil Terminal Engineering and Maintenance Standards, MOTEMS, at PBF Energy. Construction cost estimate is $35 million. Anticipated advertised date is July 2024. Project consists of demolition and removal of existing and construction of new loading and unloading platforms, catwalks, access ramps, mooring and berthing dolphins, and installation of a new fender system. The next slide, please. And this is the last one that we see in the next couple months, all the way through summer. The Berths 302-305 on-dock rail yard expansion consists of installing 5 new rail tracks, approximately 12,000 linear feet, grading and paving, drainage, fencing, steel casing, sewer water line relocation, fire protection, electrical improvements, and striping and signage. We also, so this cost, I forgot to say, the construction cost estimate for this one is $52 million, and we're anticipating to advertise in July of 2024. Next slide. So the port is committed to small businesses and recognizes that the significant community resource can contribute to the growth of the Port of Los Angeles and provide economic benefits for the city of Los Angeles. The Port of Los Angeles set an overall goal, excuse me, sorry, set an overall goal of 25% for small business participation in port contracts, including 5% very small business enterprise participation. We're also committed to maximizing opportunities for local and regional businesses, as well as encouraging local and regional businesses to locate and operate within the Southern California region. It supports policy to support an increase in local and regional jobs, and the port's local business preference program aims to benefit the Southern California region by increasing jobs and expenditures within the local and regional private sector. So these are some links. We use Planet Bids for our bidding of projects. We have CD Bond for more information on how to bid construction projects. And again, that last slide is, or the last link is to how to do business with the port with references to the ramp, the SBE, local business, and just some more information there. I think the next slide is my last slide with my contact information. If anybody has any questions, I tried to do that as fast as possible so we could get out of here on a little bit, not really on time, but as best we can. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela. And thank you all all the speakers who were here today. So we've arrived at our Q&A section of the webinar. I believe we have some time for a few questions. So as I believe Carla, she may be still online. If she can, she'll be facilitating the Q&A. Speakers, can you turn on your camera so that your name can come up on the screen? That can make it easier for attendees to address their questions. So Carla, if you are still online, you can begin when you're ready.
Okay, I think we had one question. This was for the Lowell representative. Question was from Eric. They asked if Bonfire is a paid service. They keep pushing me to upgrade. If I don't, I feel I won't get the same opportunities.
We may be able to forward that question. I know she provided her information on the slide, so we'll go ahead and forward that over to her, and that information, her contact information, will also be available. So Carla, if you can skip to the next question.
Okay, and this question is from Barbara, and I believe this is for all of the speakers available. The question was, do you have any opportunities for community-based organizations, Latino, Black, Asian?
Well, I think our speakers might be on the call, but we will answer or forward all of the questions to the person addressed and hopefully get an answer.
I can take that question.
Okay, go ahead, Jason.
I mean, for community-based organizations specifically, I don't know that we have opportunities, but if you are certified as a community-based organization with SB or DBB certifications, we may have opportunities for you through the SB DBB program. As far as I know, due to certain ordinances, I don't believe that we're able to specifically give opportunities to minority-owned businesses. But yeah, I believe if you are certified SB or DBB, you do have opportunities at least a LADWP.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. And Carla, I believe we're out of time. But thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it over to Carlos Ray for closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Mildred, and thank you to all of our speakers and presenters on this afternoon for coming and presenting some great information and resources. Hope you all take advantage of everything that you heard this afternoon and that you utilize it to push your business and your company forward. And with that, we will end today's webinar. Thank you again for your time and have a great rest of your day and best of luck on your future endeavors. Thank you.